Good morning and welcome to the allotment. It's the 3rd of April and it's actually Good Friday today. So I'm just down to do a few odd jobs. Just outside the polytunnel we've got a threat of rain, as seems to be the case this year. But one of the jobs I want to share with you is I've talked about using my own compost a number of times. So I just thought I'd share with you how we generate the compost. So I'll just turn the camera around and just share with you that. So at home we've got a couple of these buckets with the lids on, I should hasten to say, and we just drop in there any kitchen scraps, any waste, uncooked food or vegetable waste. Okay, and then down on the plot we've got a number of these Dalek compost bins. And these get filled with a mixture of things. So there you can see there's grass cuttings. So I cut the grass around the site the other day, so that got dropped in. That then just gets dropped on top. You see banana skins and all sorts in there. And we just keep piling it up. So basically there's just a normal mix of things going into those Daleks. I've got 7 of those. I've also got an open compost bin as well, and all the organic waste goes into those, except if I have any diseased things. So if there's any potato blight, then the potatoes don't go in, or potato tops don't go in. If I have any onion white rot, those don't go in. If I have any cabbage or any brassicas that have got any signs of clubroot, none of that goes in. I dispose of that elsewhere. So that's hopefully keeping the diseases away from my plot. And like I say, I just fill one of those up. When it's full, move to the next one. I've got 7 in total, so I keep rotating round. I will drop in things like the rabbit bedding, even some bits of wood chip, some spent hops. So a complete mix goes in. When one's full, as I say, move on to the next one and keep rotating like that. And then I just take a little bit out the bottom when one's full and ready to use, and then naturally drop down and just keep rotating like that. Okay, so on with the other jobs today. So the polytunnel is a bit of a mess, but let's go through that. So I will turn the camera around again if I can. Okay, so hopefully what you can see there, amongst everything else, is I bought some lettuce to plant out. So those have been in the conservatory at home, and that stays a few degrees warmer than it does in the polytunnel here. So that lettuce is going to be planted out into the polytunnel. Just while I'm here, you can see the swift potatoes are really coming on well now. And if I move along, the pentle and javelin potatoes are just starting to poke through as well. Okay, so the pentle and javelin need topping up, so again I'll be using a bit of my own compost to do that a little bit later on. Okay, so the lettuce is going to go into this side bed here. So you can see I've got to do a bit of weeding first. So I had a few of the other bits and pieces along this before, so just got to weed that little bit. I've got 20 lettuce to pop in along here. I think it's 20. Yeah, 4 5's 20. So I've got 20 lettuce to slot in. So weed that bit and slot those in, and If we look up on this shelf here, so look on this swinging shelf, the latest sweet peas I put in are poking through. All this lot will come down and have a water. We've got the cabbage and cauliflowers coming along nicely, and I've got the other sweet peas that were planted earlier. I'll put the date on when those were planted, but the other thing I've got to do with those, they desperately need having the tops pinched out, so that's another job I'm going to do. In fact, I might do that first. So I'll put the camera down and get on with that job. Okay, so pinching out these sweet peas then. So if I just take my gloves off so that I can use my fingers. So if we look at the sweet peas here, let's get one close to the camera. We have here, you can do this as soon as they get to 2 sets of true leaves. This one's got 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically we want to just take out the tops, pinch the top out, and what that will mean is if I take this one here, hopefully you can see that. So we've got these here, and on these junctions here, if we take the top out, seems a silly thing to do, but it'll force the growth out of these junctions and you'll get more sweet peas. Okay, so that's all the sweet peas that I think have been had the tops pinched out. Let's do this last one. And as soon as I've got a forecast with 3 or 4 nice days, so they don't get a sudden shock, I'll get them planted out, and these will grow away well up the canes, and they'll give us some nice flowers. Hopefully during May, if I can get them planted out this month, then I'll look to get the first flowers off in May. And like I say, I've got this set, and I've also got that on the swinging shelf up there. I've got the follow-on as well. Okay, just a short commercial break, as it were. If you enjoy these videos that I produce, then if you could like and subscribe, I'd be grateful. That does help me get an idea of how many people enjoy these videos. And if you've got any particular things you'd like to see or know more about on the way I do my allotment or look after my allotment, then drop a comment and I will get back to you. Thank you. On with the video. Okay, so the bed's prepared. It's just a case of separating these out, getting them out. And then dropping them in. I'm going to plant them fairly close to the side of the bed, so that when I've got tomatoes, aubergines and that sort of thing ready, they can go towards the other side of the bed, and then these will be obviously picked before those plants really start to produce. Well, that's my hope anyway. These are if I remember rightly, they're a cost type lettuce. So we will have some options in terms of taking individual leaves off, or taking them when they're relatively young. So it'll be a case of thinning out almost, and taking them young, letting some grow older. In fact, I might plant the next lot a bit closer together. As I've said before, I try to get the maximum use out of my polytunnel, extending the growing season. That's why we have potatoes in buckets. We have cauliflowers and cabbages growing early in the season. We don't just use it for summer plants. Just ruined that one lettuce, never mind. So I know some people use a polytunnel just for growing tomatoes and salad crops in the summer, but we really do maximise the use of our polytunnel, using it all year round. Okay, I'll get on with planting these up and then come back to you in a few minutes. Okay, so I've got all the lettuce in. So now the last job is, as always, give it a good water. Okay, so that's the jobs for today done. We've pinched out the sweet peas, we've planted out some lettuce, we've done the general watering of all the other bits and pieces that are in the polytunnel. You can probably hear the wind getting up and the rain's going to start in a few minutes, I believe. So that's all for now. See you again soon. Bye.